I used to be really scared to use my voice, and I became a lot bolder with talking, with sharing my thoughts with people, when I realized that fearing what other people think about me is not a healthy way to live my life, is not a healthy way to interact with people, and that by being bold, by speaking my mind, by not being afraid to say what I really mean, not worrying if I'm going to piss somebody off, not worrying if I'm going to offend anybody. And when I say that, a lot of people reply back, well, so you're saying that you can just be abusive, Jeremiah, to people and say whatever you want and hurt them and it doesn't matter? No. Because I don't have a desire to be abusive to people. So when I say I can do whatever I want, it's based off of a place of integrity. It's based off of a place of kindness and compassion. So let's filter that through that when we talk about what I'm saying is that if you come from a place of love and happiness and joy and kindness, like, you don't need to be afraid of what you say, saying the wrong things, connecting with people wrong, making mistakes, messing up. When you know that your heart is in the right place, especially when you know that your desires are in the right place. And yes, there are people that have desires in the right place and they hurt people. That does happen. You can't walk around your life on eggshells, terrified to hurt other people. And if you've been somebody who's experienced trauma, that might sound like I'm justifying trauma or traumatizing people and removing personal responsibility from people, but I'm not. I'm not at all. I think that personal responsibility is 100% absolutely important. Worrying so much what everybody thinks about us is not profitable activity. It's not healthy or helpful. When we go out in the world and we're worried that people are going to judge us and say things about us and criticize us and even forget about it, leave us or hurt us because they don't like us, we limit actually being ourselves. We're not being ourselves. We're being a afraid, scared person, which justifiably so, if you've been traumatized, makes sense. But it's time to grow in courage. It's time to grow in boldness. It's time to gain that boldness, to not be afraid to speak up, to speak out, to speak against things that you don't like, that you don't agree with, boldly, without fear, without worrying what's going to happen, what the consequences are, okay? Like, I will be very bold against Marxism and socialism and communism, against those things. As a capitalist, I will stand as that, because I believe that if you make as much money as possible, you can do the most good and help the most people. And so we must not be so timid and intimidated and afraid of being rude, justifying and saying, well, that's just my personality. No, it's not a personality. It's a choice to allow fear to run your life. It's a choice to allow worry and fear to dictate every single choice that you make. Learn to believe in yourself more, have more self-confidence, show up knowing that you are a badass, that nothing that anybody says about you or to you has the power to hurt you. And when you believe that, when you step out with a mindset that is fortified, that is not afraid, that is courageous, nothing can really stop you or hurt you, because what you declare, what you believe, becomes the manifestation in your life. It becomes what you experience. And so if you're somebody that wants to experience more goodness and more love and more joy and more abundance in your life, that's what you're going to attract to you by declaring that into the atmosphere, by declaring that into your life, and not just saying, oh, I'm so afraid to be negative, or oh, I'm so afraid of doing the wrong thing. We allow fear to grip our minds and change our choices because we feel like we're powerless. And it's time to reject powerlessness and realize that you have way more power than you ever believed that you have. You have way more authority than anybody ever lied to you and told you that you don't have. You don't need to earn the right or improve at all. Start by accepting yourself how you are and be super grateful for your situation. Be super grateful for what's going on right now that you're experiencing. And then say, what do I need to do to change and grow? Who needs to mentor me and show me what to do? If you're a course creator, if you're a coach, if you're a trainer, if you're a mentor, and you want to know how to build a multi-million-dollar business in that space, I mentor people on that. And it starts with your mindset. It starts with how you're thinking. Nothing else matters in the beginning but your thinking. Because how you think determines every action you take. And so start thinking more positively, more joyfully. I get it. Stuff happens in life. Crap happens. Things that we don't like. Things that make us feel insecure and afraid and powerless. But we don't have to sit in that emotion. That doesn't need to be our identity. That doesn't need to be our final chapter at all. Nothing is impossible for you when you believe. Nothing is impossible for you. I've seen my mom go from living out of a small apartment with me when she was raising me and an income less than $5,000 a year. And God provided food for us. And I've seen her win in her business and make over 9 figures in her businesses over the years. That's over $100 million, 9 figures. And I've seen it firsthand. And I know that it starts with belief. It starts with, what do you believe that you can do? Your self-esteem and self-belief are the first steps. The return on investment of growing in personal development by improving personally in your life, by improving in how you connect, how you communicate, how you love, live, and grow will change everything for you, and your income will go up. When you go to sell, you'll do so from a confident place where you believe in yourself. And so I want to tell you today, I believe in you. I believe that everything that you want, that you desire, can come to you, that you can get everything that you want, that there is nothing that is impossible for you. It starts by you believing that yourself. And whatever excuse, reason, or why you can't believe, why believing is impossible for you, why what I'm talking about won't work for you, is an area where those beliefs need to change in your life, and they need to change differently. They're lies that you're believing. They're things that are not true, that life taught you. I get experiential truth. You experienced some hard things. You experienced stuff that nobody needs to experience. But what happens is we end up making these beliefs based off of those experiences, and then those end up defining our life. When you grow and say, I'm no longer going to let what I have experienced define me, I'm no longer going to let what happened to me define me, and I'm going to create the life that I want. And I believe that anything that I believe in can manifest, and that if I think that I'm rich, I will be. Now, your actions have to follow, of course, right? You can't just sit on the couch and say, I'm rich, and then it happens. But when your actions follow, your bank account starts to reflect the belief. And that's the disconnect for most people, is they don't believe. And that belief, they're walking around toxic and negative. Oh, this will never happen. Oh, that thing never happens to me. Or my family doesn't have things work out that way. And that becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. That becomes the life that they experience. And so if you want a different life, a different experience, a different reality, change your beliefs and your life will change. All right, listen, connect with me. I got over 180 podcast episodes, nearly 1,000 videos on YouTube for coaches and course creators. Let's do this together.